Hi, welcome to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis. Wow, is it warm? I'm impressed. Uh, it's looking like we could have another spring like last year, where we just didn't have a spring. It went from winter to summer. Uh, Yesterday, I think we topped at around 81ish, 82, and it's just after 12, and we're already hitting 77. So we could easily hit the 80 mark today. But they are calling for colder weather this weekend, possibly a frost or freeze warning. Good old Ozarks. If you don't like the weather, stick around, it'll change. And I know many of you viewers that live way up in the tundra north are saying, hey, be thankful because we still are cold up here. I get it. But, we have other things that you may not like. Like, we have humidity in the summertime. A lot of people complain about that, but oh well, you'll find something to complain about. That's how we are, aren't we? So today's topic is more of a rant. So my disclaimer for this video is that you may not get anything educational out of it. It's just kind of a rant. And I don't know why I haven't done it on this subject so far. I don't believe I've talked much about this at all in any other video. It's something I should have been. And that is, this invasion we're getting mostly from our southern border, but just the invasion of illegal immigrants. And that's really what it is. There's always immigrants coming into the country legally, and then there are illegal border crossings. But it's becoming, kind of more and more of an epidemic. And, how does it affect us? How does it affect us, personally, morally, physically, our nation? How does it affect us from, what it's going to change our future, the future direction of this country, and where it's causing us to kind of head? Is it good or bad? I guess those are some things that we could talk about. I know I'm not going to cover everything because it'd take more than just one video, but it's something that that needs to be talked about. And if you listen to, to the news media, especially, the mainstream news media, the fake news media, they're gonna make you think that it's okay. This is good for us. It's good to have, all these people flooding into the country. This isn't a product placement, because that's not what that is in here. This is my own tea, so maybe I should cover it so you don't see it. I'm not advertising for them. Okay, so let me get this straight here. I am not opposed to immigration. We are a nation of immigrants. Unless you're some of the extreme minority that can prove that you're, 100% pure-blooded Native American, and there's not very many of them anymore. And I always have been very supportive of immigration as long as it's done properly. In the past, in American history, most people, and I've been personal friends with people that fall into this category, and have known many, that regardless of where they come from, they've come here with the intent that America is the land of opportunity, and they want that chance to succeed in life and to make a better life for themselves. And they come here knowing that, that they're going to have to, fit in with the culture to a certain, level. And yes, bringing in their culture, but also accepting American culture, and accepting our laws, and coming here to work hard and to, build a better life for themselves. And that is the American dream. And I have no problem with that. And I don't care what country you come from, as long as it's done in a legal manner, in a way, especially with the mindset that you're not coming here to get what you can out of this country, but you're coming here to be something better, and to be part of what in the past has made America great. We're not seeing that really a whole lot anymore. I'm not saying all of them, But we're really starting to see, and as I've been watching the news and reading articles and stuff, you're watching videos, you're seeing a real big change over the last several years of the people that are coming here illegally. They're coming here to see what they can get out of the system. They're coming here with the really kind of a mindset of like taking over. They've got it figured out that if enough of them come here and then they're able to start voting, that they can really make a radical change because of just the amount of influx. They're not respectful to, many of them are, regardless of where they come from. There's so many that haven't been respectful of just America and our ways and our people and everything. And so there's been a really big change that we're seeing and the illegal immigrants that are coming here. Even in the past, a lot of times the illegal immigrants that came here, still they even though they may have came here illegally, they worked hard to kind of fit into the country, and there still are some that fall into that. But I don't want it to come across in any way that I'm against people migrating here to better themselves. I think there needs to be certain set of rules and guidelines, and those things need to be followed. But I just want to kind of get that out in the open first. But what we have is really getting to be a problem. I mean, it's been a problem for a long time. Let me adjust my camera so I don't think I'm falling over. But it's getting worse. I just read this morning that the illegal border crossings are the highest they've been in a 12-year period. Not the highest they've ever been, but they are the highest they've been in the last 12 years. And what we're also seeing, that I know many of you have focused on and talked about and wondered about, are these migrant caravans, where there's hundreds and even thousands of people at one time crossing. And then that creates a whole new set of problems to where, even with border guards on the border, they cannot stop and contain that many people. There's just too many of these mass crowds of people crossing the border, and who knows what they're bringing in. Are many of them good people that are just trying to escape a horrible country that they're from? Probably. There probably are a lot of really good people there, but there's also the potential for some really bad people being in there. There's been many cases of diseases that we haven't seen in this country in a long time that are coming across the border. So there's a lot of problems there, and it's something that so many in this country just don't seem to care about. They think it's great. The left seems to want to give them all voting rights. And whether laws are specifically passed giving them voting rights, that in certain places in this country they're going to be allowed to vote. Because the states control, each state individually sets up how their voting process goes, and there's some very liberal states. Most of them are headed to California. If you look at the Migrant Caravan path, they're headed to California, and they know that the odds are that if they get their foot in the door, they could get to vote, and they could get a lot of other freebies. So, what does that mean for us? Man, I live quite a ways from the border, so I don't see a lot of it firsthand, but it's affecting the whole nation. It's especially going to affect the whole nation the more and more there's a push to allow them to vote. You're not going to make me believe that thousands of people just randomly decide to band together and to make this however many hundreds of miles trip. I'm sure over 1,000, but I don't know the exact number. Someone will probably comment on the exact number. That's fine. That they're going to make that whole trip, have all the provisions that they might need for that trip, and they're all going to do it by just random chance that these people just happen to show up and make this migrant caravan. No, that's not what's happening. We know it's not what's happening. We know that there are humanitarian organizations that are going down there and gathering these people to get them to join these migrant caravans. The exact purpose that they're doing this for, you know. I guess no one exactly knows the reason, but it's pretty easy to figure out. These are very leftist groups. They're trying to, get them into the country. And I know under the guise that, well, it's for humanitarian purposes. These people, live in horrible conditions, and they need to come here so that we can take care of them and offer them medical care and food and clean water and that sort of thing. Oh, and by the way, yeah, we might as well, since they're here, let them vote. That's what's happening. This isn't just these migrant caravans of hundreds and even thousands of people aren't just randomly forming and walking across Mexico to the United States. It's not just a random thing. There is definitely coordination, and that's no secret. And I have no doubts that if you started digging even deeper, you would find some interesting, probably, characters involved in the push for these migrant caravans. Our president, whether you like him or not, one thing I think that we could probably all agree on is he has taken a pretty tough stance on immigration. If anything, he has definitely done that. And it seems that the things that he's trying to do, Washington, and I'll just say Washington because it's really both the left and the right, but Washington has been doing everything they can to fight against what he's trying to do. I was also reading this morning that he has, in the last 48 hours, he's fired the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and I heard that he also fired the Secret Service Director. And basically, he's wanting a clean house when it comes to Homeland Security and any agency managing or working to protect the border. He's supposedly, they say that he has some new plan that hasn't been released yet, and that's what all this is about. That there's some new plan. He's got some new plan that he's wanting to try to get going for border security. And I am not been a complete 100% supporter of Donald Trump. I like a lot of the things he's done. There's been some things that he's done that I don't care for, but he's definitely on board with securing, our border, and I really appreciate that. The left, they're big on this open borders thing. You can't be a nation without borders. And I know that, I've seen their arguments. Well, you can go between the countries of Switzerland and whoever, and, there's no real border there. Well, they also don't border, a third world nation where their people are trying to, flood into their country. So there's a big difference there. When you have several thousand people coming across the border, how do you know that they're all just nice families that are trying to run away from a impoverished nation? There could be terrorists, there could be, all sorts of criminals involved in that, people that are running from the law. I mean, hey, if I was, some criminal or terrorist and wanted to get into the country easily, I'd find myself right in the middle of that migrant caravan. I'd figure odds are pretty good that I can get in and hide away before I get caught, because there's so many of them. They're not going to catch everyone all at once. That would be the smart thing to do, is to blend in with those, those caravans that are coming here. I feel like I'm not giving you guys a whole lot today, that I'm just on here ranting and raving. I think it's going to, if it's not stopped, we're going to see more and more drastic change in our nation. Already the Southwest, and I feel so sorry for the people that live down there. For you viewers, those of you that live kind of in the southwestern United States, I really feel sorry for you. Your country, your part of the country is being taken over by illegal immigrants that have no intention of becoming American. They have every intention of taking that land back over and in making it whatever they call it. I can't remember. They call it something of the southwestern states. They're wanting to flood it with Hispanic migrants and then secede or whatever, but I can't remember what they call that. But it's happening everywhere too, because they don't just stay in the Southwest. They come into the country and then they spread. And like I said, many of them are coming here with honorable intentions, and I'm okay with that. as long as the process is done legally, and for the ones that come here illegally but still have honorable intentions, I'm not too worried about them. It's the ones that aren't, and we're seeing that more and more. We're seeing that the majority of them are coming here with not honorable intentions. They're not here to become American. They're not here to join this nation and become a productive, participating member of society. They're coming here to get what they can from us and to really change the face of this nation. And it's becoming a serious problem. And they're coming here by the tens of thousands if you look over a period of a year's time. And it's always funny how the left is, they're okay with that, but, or support that we have to do it because of the poor lives of these migrant people, but it's okay to kill babies. But anyways, I won't go off on that subject. Oh, I don't know if I'm even going to post this video because I feel like I'm not doing anything but just ranting and raving. From a preparedness mindset, that is something that we've got to be aware of, especially those of you that live in areas where there is a higher population of illegals coming into your area. You need to be aware of that. Many of these people are, let's see, how do I want to say it? Most Americans, modern Americans in the cities, they have no idea how to exist outside the city. You unplug them from their TV and video games and cell phones, and they don't know how to exist. A lot of these migrant people do. These illegals, they grow up in a country that's third world. So the chances of them coming more towards you in a SHTF situation and trying to take over your properties, I think you're going to have to worry more about that than just your average American city person coming out into the woods and taking over or attempting to take over where you live out in the country. Because these illegals, they can handle living out in the woods a little bit more. They're not quite as connected and plugged into modern technology because of growing up in and living in a third world country. I'm not saying they don't have technology. I get it that they do. But I think that they would be more inclined to come out, to the farmlands and stuff and see what they could get from people out there. So from, that standpoint, I definitely think there's a danger and a risk for those of us preppers. As a nation, it's a big risk and a big danger because so many of them are coming here with the intent of taking over. And this isn't some conspiracy theory. Mainstream news talks about it, where these, a lot of these people are saying that. And the left is working really hard and doing a lot of talking about, giving them a vote, allowing them to vote. That if they're here and they're participating somewhat, or the fact that they got their foot in the door, then we might as well allow them to vote. And that is so wrong. When I grew up, most people thought of immigration as someone that came here and worked in society, and then at some point in their life was able to go and become a citizenship and would stand there and, raise the right hand and take an oath to the Constitution and to become a citizen. Most of these people have no intentions of ever doing it, even if they were given the opportunity. They're not wanting to become American. They're wanting to take over America, at least parts of America, and make it its own Latin American country again, mostly the Southwest. So don't buy into what this fake news media is talking about. Pay close attention to what's been happening in the last 24, 48 hours in the White House with the people that the president has been terminating or asking to leave. Something's going on. Stephen Miller is behind it, and he's very, very tough, whether you like him or not. He's extremely tough on immigration. And it's, from what I've been reading, it is a plan that he and the president have come up with, and they're starting to put that plan in motion by getting rid of certain people out of their positions and replacing them with people that take a much harder stance on immigration. So let's see what happens. It could be a good thing. It could be another fight. I'm pretty sure that since the recent Mueller report has come out and the president has been, for the most part, exonerated, I'm sure that he feels much more empowered and focused to go on after the things that he intended to go after in the beginning as president. I know I would be. You know, that's kind of behind him, and so let's get busy on getting some work done. Anyways, let me know what you think. I don't want to come across to some crazy isolationist bigot type person, but we also cannot allow this takeover by people that, you know, have really ill intentions coming here. All right, well, I'm sure that'll not impress too many people, this video, because I feel like I've talked a lot and said nothing. Thank you all for watching, and I encourage your feedback on this, what you guys and gals think about the migrant caravans and all the illegals, and then what the president seems to be working on, or the things that he's trying to get done when it comes to our border security. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.